Welcome to One Question at a Time, the SAT series. Question number 44. At Johns Adam High School, 120 students take programming and 200 students take statistics. Of these, 50 students take both programming and statistics. An additional 80 students take neither programming nor statistics. If a student at this high school is picked at random, what is the probability that he or she take programming but not statistics? So we have to understand about the diagrams. So the rectangular outside rectangulars, that is represent the high school, and then inside that high school 80 student is not taking any class, right? Not taking any programming nor statistics, so they're outside. Okay, that is the areas outside. That is 80 student. Okay, now the inside of the P stand for programming, S stand for statistics. You see that two circle, right? And then it's intersect at a point right here where is 50 student is both taking 50 student both taking programming and statistics. Now we have 200 student, right? 200 student taking statistics, but within 200 student, 50 student in that 200 is also taking programming. That's why you have left with only 150 is strictly only taking 150 only taking statistics. Okay, so 150 and 50 is 200. The same thing with the programming. 120 students taking programming, but 50 of them also taking statistics. So we have 120 within 120, 50 also taking programming. So only 70. I need to change the colors. Let's do purple. So okay, that 120. So this is the purple. That P is 70. So 70 and 50 is 120. Okay, so we will say 70 student only taking programming, 150 student only taking statistics, 50 student taking both, and 80 student doesn't take any of those. Okay, so now we read the questions. They ask for the probability that the student only taking programming, so which is the 70 student, because they say but not statistic at all. It means only 70 students strictly only taking the programming. So we have the question mark here is the probability of the student taking the, let's say X is programming only. The first P right here is stand for the probability. Inside the parenthesis is the event that X is the event that you picking only the student is taking the programming only. Okay, programming only, not statistic. So programming only, which is 70. Okay, so this one is the total numbers of the number of students taking programming is 70 students. Okay, so to calculate the probability is like a fractions, right? Of how many outcome you can pick, like how many the number of the student taking programming over the numbers of total students in the school. Okay, so how we calculate? We see that is in the area, right? So the total student in the school, number totals, okay, that is the part of the statistic. The programming first is 70 student, at bow is 50, at statistic is 150, and then at 80 for none. Okay, let me label it so you know which one which. This is the programming only. This is programming and statistic together. This is statistic. This is none. Okay, so that is all the student in school. Why don't we add the 120 at 200? It's because you know that the 50 in both sides is already happened. This one is like 70 at 50 at 50 at 150. You double the amount of the student by 50, so we were not using that numbers at the total. Okay, since you double the amount of the student who taking both. Alright, so now we add them up. We will have 50 at 150 at 200, and then we have 70 at 80 at 150 at 200, that is 350. I always thinking about the way that it will help me to calculate faster and easier. So I already know that 70 at 80 will be 150. And then it's easier for me to do the 50 with 150, that make me 200. So 200 at 150, that 350. Okay, now we can go back with the problem. We just kind of write down the numbers of the student taking the programming only. Okay, that is 70 over the total student in the school, that is 350. Now with power of 10, right? We just kind of cross one of the zero, but I will write that down. So 7 times 10 is 70. 35 times 10, that is 350. Now we cross that, and that is equal 7 times 1 over 35 is 7 times 5. Okay, so we cancel the 7 again. We have is 1/5. So the probability that we became a programming student but not statistic or programming student only is 1/5. So C will be the right answer, the correct answer. Thank you for participating in this series and see you next time.